Blog Talk Radio. Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Wellness Coach on Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Edie Summers, and I'm so excited to have today as my guest Angela Russell. Angela Russell is an entrepreneur who owns both a holistic recruitment practice, it's called Orchid Holistic Search, and also another practice or company called Green Dreams Detroit, a service designed to help people eat, cook, and live better naturally. Angela wishes to inspire others to follow their own true path, just as she has done. She's an avid fan of yoga, making recipes from scratch, as well as growing her own food and making her own cleaning products. Angela is an inspiration to anyone looking to start down the road to living a greener, cleaner, healthier lifestyle. And I'm just going to welcome Angela onto the line here. Hi, Angela. Can you hear me? How are you?
I can, Edie. Good afternoon. I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I think this is going to be a real treat for people. And I just wanted to ask you, first of all, how did you get started as an entrepreneur? I mean, I know we're going to be talking about living a natural lifestyle and following your own true path, but I think part of that is, at least I know for you and I, is being an entrepreneur. And I'm wondering what that journey was like for you.
Well, that's a great question. So I graduated with a degree in sales and marketing. So I always knew that I wanted to be in business. And I think from a fairly early age in high school, I wanted to own my own business one day. I dreamed of it, but I didn't know exactly what that would look like, of course. So after school, I started working for a recruitment firm, which was fantastic. I really found kind of my true passion of connecting people in that way. So I loved what I was doing. However, the company values didn't necessarily match my own personal values and my personal interests. I was working in automotive. The timing in Detroit in 2008 was such that things were kind of taking a dive, and switching people from one opportunity at one automotive supplier to another just wasn't necessarily that fulfilling. So at that point, I really started to think, what could I do that would combine my passions, my interests, as well as my talents? And I had met my partner about a year before that. He's a naturopathic physician, so he knew the natural products industry space very well. And we came up with the idea for Orchid Holistic Search. We wrote a business plan, and we crossed our fingers and worked really hard, and that's kind of how we got off to our start.
I love that. I love the merging of passion and also beliefs, like what you believe in, and sort of taking that leap of faith. And I remember reading on one of your other the blog that talks about your story that it took you guys about 6 months to start seeing profits from that.
Recruitment is Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, I was just thinking you were talking about working hard. I mean, I think that when you're an entrepreneur, you have to also be patient, work hard, and do what you love, and then also be patient. Would you say that would be part of it too, or?
Yeah, be patient and be realistic. I was thinking about, what would my personal philosophy to becoming successful as an entrepreneur be? And I think that, a third of it would be following your heart and your own belief systems and having that belief in yourself. A third would be being realistic and grounded about your expectations, about the services or products that you're offering, making sure that there's a good niche for what you want to do, and and part of that is being patient and obviously allowing yourself this space. And then third of it would be, working really hard, putting in the effort.
Yes, and I think that's the beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur is that, this is probably true. I know this is definitely true for me, and I do have to pace myself to maintain my health, but I find myself working. I have to stop myself from working sometimes, but I love what I'm doing, so I almost don't notice the time. So talking about getting on a true path here, and I think for some people that definitely can be entrepreneurship. For other people, it can be living a more healthy, natural lifestyle. How can others get inspired to get onto their own true path, whatever that may be for them?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, that involved a lot of contemplation, sitting in meditation, doing things that I loved, making space in my life to go to a yoga class or to cook something. And, in terms of what can we do to be on a more healthy path, I think a lot of it is about putting the things in that feel good rather than taking away the things that we're told are bad for us.
Yeah.
Because the more we kind of get on that path, it's like a snowball effect. We make a new smoothie, it tastes good, we feel good, and then we want to attract more of that into our lives. So, I think it's about listening to the body, being in tune with yourself, and giving yourself enough space.
I love how you say that, kind of like focus on like what makes you feel good as opposed to focusing on, I can't have this or I can't have that. And I think there's so much fear now around. There's like this kind of blocked energy, like, I can't do that. It's gonna we want to free up that energy and not be afraid. To follow what's going to make us feel better. So that kind of, maybe that does lead to my next question. So if someone is thinking about starting to live a more healthy, natural lifestyle, is that also what you would suggest, or is there anything else that you would want to add to that? If someone's just maybe testing out the waters and just curious at this point, is that what you would recommend, or is there anything else that you would recommend as well?
There are so many resources on the web. So if anyone has particular questions in terms of guidance or which websites to check out, I'm more than happy to have that dialogue with people. So they're welcome to be in touch with me. But I think it's about keeping yourself informed, reading labels, kind of opening up that space of what am I putting into my body, what am I putting on my skin, what am I cleaning my home with, and how does that align with with health. So again, not, this is bad, that's bad, the other's bad, but, how can I make the small changes? And of course, becoming more healthful in all aspects of life is a slow journey. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something that we take baby steps and, look down the road to the goal of kind of achieving who we want to be in that sense. But, it takes time. It's definitely not an overnight change.
So take baby steps. I know that I think that's great advice, and that's definitely something that in the coaching world we definitely talk about making small changes, and because people can otherwise get overwhelmed and think, this is just too much. Like I wouldn't even know where to start. But if you do like just one small thing or a few small things at a time, and focus on enjoying it, right? Like I kind of hear you saying that. Just focus on what feels good.
Yeah.
What naturally feels good.
Do what works for you, and then the rest will all kind of snowball from there. But I think it's taken me about 5 years to get where I am, and the more you know, the less you know, and I think it's about that, like continuously learning and opening yourself up to new experiences and just new ways of adding more health into your life rather than removing the negatives.
I just absolutely love that philosophy, and I think it's so true and I would concur with that from personal experience, and just but speaking of, you were talking about looking for resources on the web, and looking to experts to ask them for their advice and opinions. You actually have your own business, Green Dreams Detroit. Am I saying that correctly? Is it
DreamDreamsDetroit.com.
Yeah, Dream Greens. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to let you say it, but could you tell us more about that and what exactly is it you offer?
It's a tongue twister. Green Dreams Detroit, and that's the web address too, greendreamsdetroit.com, is a business that I started kind of as a side project, something that would connect me closer to my own community, because my recruitment business, that entails me working with people and companies across the country. But how can I kind of translate this health and wellness into my own area and connect with people that I can actually, share my experiences with? So actually a cousin of mine, he just had a baby a couple years back and wanted to figure out, wow, I got to make some changes in my lifestyle and in my diet, just to become more healthy for my new little one. So he asked me for help, and what I ended up doing is creating my little business plan from there. I went to his home and I cleaned out all of his cupboards. We took a look at everything that he had going on in terms of his cleaning products, in terms of what types of food choices were in his cupboards and his refrigerator. We talked about protein. We talked about carbohydrates and fats, and what could some better choices have been, or next time he goes to the grocery store. So that's actually how I got started with that. So from there, I offer people what we call all-natural kitchen and home makeovers. So that would be basically going to their home, taking a look at everything, and looking for replacements that are more healthful or more all-natural. And we also do grocery store tours with that. I also do some food demos. Recently I did a raw food demo at one of my local yoga studios here, which was a blast. So teaching people how to make recipes that kind of implement, new healthy changes easily into their lives.
Your recipes, I have to say, are just incredible. I mean, even just the ingredients, let alone making one of them. They're just, I can tell that this is something that you love to do, and it's like an art for you. Would you say that?
Thank you. It is. Yeah, and I have a little bit of artistic drive in my background, and playing with food is art to me.
And I think that's a really good way of looking at it. I mean, I'm definitely starting to experiment more myself and just trying to have fun with it, and just, let it be more of a creative process, because I think sometimes people do get a little bit afraid in the kitchen too. They're like, I don't know how to cook. Why would I assume that I know what I'm doing? But it's not really necessarily, obviously you can learn skills, and there might be a few pieces of equipment that you might need to have, but part of it is just enjoying the process of it too. Kind of like it almost is with trying out these new things. So I'm just curious. People are going to have to go to your website, greendreamsdetroit.com, to actually find the recipes. But I'm curious, what are some recipes that you particularly love to make? Just maybe you can think of one that would be super easy, just off the top of your head. I don't know, just for people to get it. I'm trying to paint a picture here for people of just how amazing your recipes are.
One of my favorite things to make, and this recipe works for folks who aren't necessarily the most helpful, or for people who are vegan, dairy free, because it's a recipe that everybody can make and everybody will like, I think, if you like chocolate. So it's a chocolate mousse, but the base of the mousse is actually avocado. So that gives it some nice healthy fat and some just rich, decadent texture. I add some raw local honey and some cacao powder, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla extract, and it's just fantastic. I like to whip it up in the food processor. You can layer it in a martini glass with some homemade whipped cream or just some fruit, and it's awesome.
Oh, that sounds so good, and it just sounds fabulous. And I think people might be thinking avocado, that sounds unusual, but have you ever, I've actually had, avocado smoothies, and they're some of the best. It could be the best smoothie I've ever had, and avocados are really flexible, and it's true for sometimes it's the simplest, freshest ingredients, right? That can be used in so many different ways, but it's the ingredients themselves that are what our bodies are really needing and craving too, I would say, in a healthy way.
Right, and the more good you put in, the more good you crave.
Yes, it's really
true. In fact, I made that mousse. Yeah, I made that mousse for my little brother and my whole family actually a couple years ago. And I said, I'm going to bring dessert over for a Sunday night dinner, and I made it. And I said, can anyone guess, what the tricky ingredient or the secret ingredient is? And they could not get it. So you cannot even taste the avocado. It gets kind of masked by the strong richness of the chocolate. So
yum.
If my brother likes it, then it can work for anybody.
The ultimate litmus test. Well, avocado is technically a fruit. Anyway, that's one of it's so. I love how it is. I can't think of the word, but you can use it obviously more in like how you would use a vegetable, but it is technically a fruit. So
versatility.
Yeah, so, thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
You're welcome.
So I also know that you grow your own food too, and you also make your own natural cleaning products. I'm wondering if you could share with us a little bit about how you do that, why you do that, maybe some tips.
Good question. So, I would consider myself a locavore, meaning I try as best as I can to eat things that are grown locally. And how much more local can you get than your own backyard? So I won't say that I've got the greenest thumb in the world, but it's the effort that counts. Some things do really well, some things don't always necessarily do well. But it's about just, again, giving yourself a little bit of space, giving yourself a little green patch in your backyard where you can, not be so much of a sod farmer and kind of grow things that you can eat. And something easy, really simple that anyone can grow would be like cherry tomatoes in a container or in your backyard. That doesn't take up much space. That or a simple herb garden in a box in your windowsill, and herbs add so much dimension and complexity to foods and also nutrition. I don't think people realize how nutritious herbs are. So that's just one simple thing that anyone can do.
Oh, I think those are actually really great tips. I love that. And you're right, and they're also medicinal, right? Herbs are medicinal.
Oh, yeah.
Or is that what you're talking about? Or just, they add flavor, but then they can actually help your health too.
Yeah, food is medicine, and also just basic nutritional needs. Really rich because obviously you don't need a lot of herbs, but they're so jam packed with the good stuff. So you don't need much, but again, it adds flavor and nutrition. And then you asked about the cleaning products. So I've been experimenting for a little while about that.
Now, I think this is an area that I talk about trepidation. I keep wanting to do this, and I keep thinking I keep getting this block. So I'm really curious to know, like, what's the base? How do you do this? Is it just experimentation, or?
Oh, Edie, it's really simple. So I can send you a couple things.
Oh, I would love that. And so are there? So I'm wondering, what exactly do you make in your natural cleaning products? I think we may have, it's possible that we lost Angela. I'm going to check and see if she's there. Hello?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yes, okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay. It's all good. This is live radio. We've had all sorts of things happen. So we were talking about making your own natural cleaning products. For like a total beginner like me, how would you go about it, or what's a tip or something really super easy to make?
Okay, so first you have to decide that you want to save some money and make something that's all natural and super easy. So that's your step one. Step two would be ordering the base ingredients. I buy a lot of things on the internet just because it's so convenient. So, for example, laundry soap, that's something that requires pretty much 3 ingredients, washing soda, borax, and a bar of soap, like Fowl's Naphtha or Ivory soap. And that's it. You mix the powders together, you grate the soap. I've made it into a liquid format that sometimes tends to get a little chunky, so I've been using just the powder formula, and you can add just a few drops of essential oils like tea tree oil in the wash, and then maybe lavender in the dryer. So that's something that's just super easy, and it costs literally pennies to make, and we all know how expensive laundry soap is.
Yeah, and that's true for so many cleaning products, and also like natural, like Haba Care, right? Like health and beauty. I was just looking. I'm trying to find like a new, body wash, because they're all. I mean, I like to use natural, and I was comparing the differences, like in the last couple of days, between natural and what you would get like at the regular store, and it's like the difference between $2 and like $12, and it's like like that might be something to explore making on my own, since I use so much of it.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't make my own body wash. I use Dr. Bronner's as a body wash. I think it works fantastic. Yeah, it is hard to beat.
And there are so many great products out there, and so it's nice to have those available too. But kind of like what I love about this conversation is that I think it's, the economy has changed, and it is getting better, but at the same time, I think it's been an opportunity in a way to get, sort of deeper into, what we can do ourselves to create a sense of home and comfort, and kind of rely more on ourselves for resources. And in a way it's better. That. I mean, yeah, just like, cooking for ourselves, growing our own food, and making our own cleaning products, maybe some health and beauty care. It's just so interesting, like how, and there's joy and pleasure in that, I think, and in contentment.
Even
when you mentioned
pride.
Yeah, yes, pride and accomplishment, and I mean, my goodness, just essential oils alone and herbs. I mean, those two, for me are pretty heady. So anytime I can be around more of those, I'm happier in general. So anyway, but I could go off on that tangent for a long time. And
I
know we're going to be talking, we're going to talk a little bit about your other company that you mentioned at the beginning, Orchid Holistic Search, and how, this is tied in with the natural foods industry, and we're talking about natural products, and you do a whole other thing with that. Or maybe I should just ask you that now. I was going to ask you about your retreat too, but we can get to that in a second. What is Orchid Holistic Search exactly? This again ties back into you being an entrepreneur, which I think is fantastic. I really want to empower anyone to become an entrepreneur, especially women, but everyone. And so I'm just wondering. I find it so empowering, but also specifically, this is actually, I think, the way that you and I met was, I think it was through Twitter. I think you contacted me from Twitter. This was a long time ago, but and it was through your company, Orchid Holistic Search. So I'm wondering if you could just share with us a little bit more what that's about, and just what your passion is there. Okay.
Yeah. So I help companies in the natural products industry. And so natural products industry would encompass dietary supplement companies as well as natural, Haba, like you said, health and beauty, and food companies that make organic food products. I help them find their senior level talent. So basically I'll have a company reach out to me with a specific need. They need a senior formulation chemist, or they need a vice president of operations or sales. And so they reach out to me with the requirements of the position, and then I go out there and I find from a competitor the exact skill set necessary that maybe that person is working way too hard and doing such a fantastic job that they're not out there hunting for new positions on their own. But I reach out with possibly a better opportunity and connect the two of them, and then earn a fee if things are successful.
That's incredible. I think that's just incredible, and on so many levels. That you're helping people maybe find a better fit, and you're also helping to, improve these. This is the industry that I started out in right after college. So I have just a huge passion and respect for this industry, the natural foods industry, and these are people who are really trying to make a difference. They are making a difference. And so that fact that you're, part of that process, I just find amazing. And the fact that you did this on your, it's really incredible. And then you're the co-owner of this with your husband, is that correct? Oh, I'm sorry, not your husband, your partner.
We're my partner, and we're happily unmarried. We'll put it that way. Dr. Matthew Marturano. So he's a naturopathic doctor. He has a practice here in Rochester, Michigan, and he specializes in digestive wellness. But the two of us it's a co-creation. I do most of the front end of the business, so I talk with candidates and I talk with our clients, and I do most of the actual recruitment efforts. And lucky for me, he's a talented guy when it comes to math and numbers and finance and taxes. So I let him handle that piece of the business. And if we have a more technical search, say one of our clients is looking for a naturopath, that's obviously right up his alley, and he'll work on the more technical or naturopathic doctor searches.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's just, and I like that you guys work together, and that you sort of, it sounds like you kind of. I do too. Yeah, it's great to work with, kind of utilize the best of everyone's skills, I think. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they, obviously you guys are partners too, but it's nice to be able to work to join forces with other people. And I think sometimes entrepreneurs think, I have to do this all by myself, and that's just not the case. Like, it's just, I think that you can accomplish more. But I also love that you blended your skill set with your passion, kind of like we were talking about in the very beginning. And how specific is that, that you're working in the natural foods industry, whereas before you were working in, the automotive industry as recruitment. So it's just so interesting. But that's where you learned your skill set too, though, right?
It is.
Wow.
I'm a Detroit girl, born and raised, and I have my roots here in the automotive industry, but it's been really, really nice to branch out, and these companies are incredible. They have what we call a triple bottom line, doing good things for people, the planet, and, and in business, and so really it feels to me like a win-win, and yes, it's absolutely incredible to be able to utilize my talents and my passion and, have this as a co-creation with my partner. When you spell it all out like this, Edie, sometimes it's even mind-blowing for myself to realize, that we're living our dream, basically. So.
Yes, and I think that's what's so inspiring about you, is that you are living your dream. And also, I hope I'm not saying this to embarrass you, but you're only 27, or you're super
29.
young too. You're 29. Well, that's still really young. So I just hope that this is really inspiring for people, that you can be living your dream, and it's really not. This does tie in with how you take care of yourself, doesn't it? Isn't it just a few, it's following again your passion and what feels good, and taking risks, and having that faith that things will work out, and just not giving up on it.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar, Edie, with a wellness wheel, right, where you kind of compartmentalize areas of your life, including your health and your love life and your work life, and it's all, there needs to be a balance, right? So if we're out of balance with our career, it's just not going to make much sense. There's other ways that we can somewhat make up for that, but if we're hating what we do every single day, then that's going to make the rest of our areas of our life, suffer. So
right. Wow.
It's important to
keep the balance.
And
I think I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I think that actually I've noticed this. I've really been trying to do this week even. I've been going gung ho ever since I had a break from school, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on my business 1,000%, and now I'm doing both. I'm working full time and in graduate school, but I have to. I'm actually realizing that. Yeah, but at the same time, the more I take care of myself, the more productive I am. So it's about keeping that balance, and then I can do more of what I love, right? Which is, we're all trying to help people and also make the world a better place. And that's what I love that you're doing what you love to do on all levels, and that is so inspiring, and that's possible for anybody. I really believe that.
I believe it too.
Yeah, especially with with the internet. That makes it that much more possible. It's just the opportunity is limitless at this point, I think. But speaking of staying in balance, one of the other things that you do is you have actually a retreat coming up, and I would assume that this would be about maintaining balance or finding that balance again. And I was wondering if you could tell us more about that.
Oh, sure. I'm super excited about this. This retreat is coming up in May. We've given it a name called Puerto Verde, which in Spanish means Green Gateway. And what that means to us is basically green symbolizes the heart chakra, and gateway is basically those pathways and connecting mind, body, spirit, to whatever you want to call it, the divine. And really allowing ourselves, to become connected. So that's what our retreat is all going to be about. It's going to be about holistic wellness. It's on a biodynamic farm in Costa Rica. We are going to be eating some beautiful meals that are fresh, from grown on the property. We've got two beautiful RYT yoga teachers coming along, so we'll have lots of yoga, at least twice daily. We'll be doing meditation and guided imagery, some workshops on, self-love and connectivity, and then also, Dr. Matt's going to be doing some holistic naturopathic modalities. And Dr. Bell, who's a chiropractor, he's also a huge part of this. He's our partner on this. And he practices what we call network spinal analysis, which is a very gentle form of chiropractic. It doesn't involve necessarily adjustments. It's breath work and gentle touches along the spine to get the body to unwind that tension and that stress on its own. So it's going to be incredible. Very excited. May 2nd through 10th at Finca Luna Nueva, which is actually New Chapter's farm there in near Arenal in Costa Rica.
Oh, my gosh. And I just got chills when you said that. I know New Chapter super well now. Are you doing this through them, or is it just, are they letting you use that property, or you just found out about it through them?
They open up the space to anybody who wants to use it for groups, for conferences and retreats. So perfect. I had stayed there a couple of years back and fell in love with the property. It's just kind of your blood pressure drops just kind of walking onto the property. They got a saltwater pool, and just it's incredible. So I knew I'd be back. I didn't know what form or shape it would actually manifest in, but this is it, and we're pretty excited.
And now,
so anyone's welcome to come on this retreat, too.
Yeah, so I know that you have a special offer, right? Like if people wanted to sign up even this week, they can get a discount. Is that correct?
Just for you. Well, we've got an early bird special going on until December 2nd, which is $250 off the price of the retreat. But this week, if any of your listeners are interested and would like to put down their deposit, I'm offering an additional $100 off the early bird special.
Oh, so. That's so nice of you. And that's just for listeners of The Wellness Coach. So everyone who's listening, that's really special. So thank you, Angela, for doing that. So now if someone wanted to do if someone wanted to do that, where do they go to sign up?
They would go to my website, greendreamsdetroit.com, and then it's / you'll find a retreats part on the front page, and under that it says Puerto Verde. So it's fairly easy to find. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just going to spell that out for anyone who needs to hear it spelled out or who's not on the show page here. So it's green, as in the color, and then dreams, and then Detroit.com. Greendreamsdetroit.com. I said it better this time. And then,
you got it perfect.
No, I have a quick question about. So, is the first time that you went to that place that New Chapter has? Is that where they grow their ginger? This is just like my own personal curiosity. Question.
They grow their ginger. They grow their turmeric. They grow some other medicinal herbs. They also grow cacao and just a plethora of vegetables. And they teach people on their farm what biodynamic farming is, and kind of returns back to the principle of, life creating life, and that everything is kind of a co-creation. And they teach you about the farming methods, which include animals working on the farm as well. So it's all really fascinating.
Wow. Amazing. Well, I think that retreat sounds amazing. I think retreats are just, again, it is about balance. I mean, I've definitely learned as a wellness coach that the biggest things are mindset and stress management or self-care. And so anything that people can do to take care of themselves, you can add so much more and bring so much more of your whole self to this world if you take care of yourself first. So,
I
Angela,
love that,
what is
Edie.
well, thank you. That's my little spiel for the day, or not spiel,
Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. So, Angela, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you personally if they want to ask you more questions or work with you or find out about your retreat or anything else? Is it just your website?
I'll give, my email address is on my website, but I will give it to your listeners. It's just my first name, Angela, Angela, at greendreamsdetroit.com.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much for doing that, too. That's really nice of you. And then I'm just going to mention your other website again as well. It's orchidholisticsearch.com if anyone's interested in that as well. And so, Angela, I just wanted to thank you so much for being here. This has been such a treat, and I'm just really grateful. And you have so many beautiful gifts that you're sharing with the world, and so I'm glad that more people will get to find out about you. So, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Edie. It's been a pleasure speaking with you as always, and I appreciate you putting on this show for your listeners. It's been fun.
Oh, well, great. Thanks again, and I will talk to you online or on the phone. Okay, take care,
good.
and
Take care.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye, Edie.